Hey, PHS. Welcome back to Go Knuckle Talk with Flo. And of course, with my amazing co-star. Co-star? Yeah, you're a co-star. Lisa Nolan Hafner. Hell yeah, you are. We've done several of these. But hey, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for tonight.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. So tonight we have some really special guests, Kelly Raper, Jay Miller, Royce Coleman, Rios and Scott Sherwood, and we're here to talk about the beginning of Angry Red Nuff Said. So, Michael, take it away.
So, Scott, I'm going to start with you. Earlier today, I read an article, a small little article about Spearman when your dad was there. They went to the state finals of '74, and it also said in 5 seasons, they never lost a district game. So your summers before your senior year, you're moving to Plainview, Texas, to play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so Flo actually got. Dad was already in Plainview that spring semester, and the Spearman bus dropped me off in Plainview on the way back from the regional track meet.
What?
And Coach Tomlin and Coach Williams and all those guys were coming then too, but they dropped me off the bus, and I enrolled in school the next Monday. So and really? That way we got spring ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I did not know that. So
yeah.
How did everybody accept you? Did they accept you with open arms? Your teammates, especially these guys here?
I took you to a baseball game.
That's right. I forgot about that. It'd be natural for them to have a little resentment, I think. I mean, somebody, but I never felt it. That first day of school, I think it was Don Palmer, Bruce Wesley, and Bruce McWilliams took me to Lubbock because the prom was like that next Saturday, and we got a tux, and maybe Jay went too. I don't remember, but
I don't know if I went. Like I said, we just went to the baseball game one of the first days you were in town.
Yeah, I think I remember that, and then. So I think it'd been natural if they'd had a little resentment, a new guy moving in, coach's kid and all that kind of stuff. But if there was, I never felt it, whether it was in the classroom, in the locker room, or anywhere.
Well, that's good. One more question though. So, but how did you feel moving to Plainview though? I mean, your dad had a very good football program at Spearman. How did you feel moving there your junior year?
It was mixed emotions because I had a lot of good friends in Spearman and guys that I'd played from 7th grade on with. And but that's part of being a coach's kid too. You always knew you could be moving onward and upward, or I guess down and backward too. But I don't know. It didn't bother me a lot on the deal. In fact, these guys in Plainview, I remember during our open day, we went and loaded up and watched Spearman in Tulia, and so it was a good experience. I didn't get it. It ended up being a great thing for me. One, I made a lot of really good friends, like the guys on this podcast, but met my wife of 43 years too. So
good for you. What about you, Jay? When here's a coach's son coming, how did you feel?
I didn't really care. I mean, I heard he was good, and he was a nice enough fellow. We gave him a nickname of Howie the Milkman, and that was from what was that name?
Grapes of Wrath or something. I don't know. Some book we read in English.
Some book y'all read. And there was a guy, Howie the Milkman. We called him Howie all the time. No, we had a good time. Scott really fit in, and I think one of the things that made it easier for him is that the athletes we had on that team were probably some of the best in the state of Texas. You talk about football. We won in basketball. We won state in baseball. We won that group of guys. We won everything we played. and even Raper was good in golf. So we had everybody had it covered pretty well. But I mean, he walked into a pretty stout team to play with.
Well, good. What about you, Luis? Is it Luis or Lewis? I'm sorry.
Louis, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, these guys, you know, of course, I was a junior that year, so I was, you know, we were, as Jay says, the talent was there, and then, you know, Scott came in and he was, you know, it's like his dad, you know, kind of, you know, not cocky, you know, well mannered, and so, you know, he fit in, and so I don't think there was any resentment. I think we were more looking forward to the, you know, opportunity to take our game to the next level. You know, everybody was excited because we knew we had talent, and then some, you know, lower classmen also, you know, had been moved up and were bigger in size. You know, myself, Kevin Woods, Kevin Igo, Irvin, you know, got moved up and had an opportunity to play with these seniors. It was, you know, we were thinking, oh gosh, you know, we're going to be good. And then got a new coach coming in, so it was an exciting time.
Well, good.
Did any of y'all ever feel like Coach Sherwood? I mean, were y'all looking out for Coach Sherwood treating Scott different or better because he was his son, or did you feel like he was as hard on him as he was on y'all, if not harder?
Or even harder, yeah.
He was hard on everybody.
Okay.
Yes, he was. Even if you didn't play for him, he was hard on you.
He expected a lot, and you know, we all respected him. I mean, it's really crazy, you know, when we saw him coming and all that stuff. We all, Kelly and myself and Grant Taylor, had a problem. We couldn't be quiet, so that always put us in another room. But we laughed and cut up and had a good time at everybody's expense. But there's nothing like what we saw when he came in that first day. And, you know, the coaches were talking about it, you know, the red dot. But, you know, the thing is, you know, he came in, he said, you know, guys, and I experienced this. I was a starter for 3 years on that team. And I played with Coach Kirk and the guys that were older than us. And, you know, I know they've said several times that if they'd had the same coaches we did, they'd been as good as anybody. But that's not true. But, you know, it's just, he came in and said, you know, look, guys, you haven't won in a long time. You've never won a district championship. So, you know, it's time to win. And, you know, we heard that. He started talking about the red dot, put the red dot on your watch. And when you look at it, every time you see that red dot, it's time to win. So from the time he got there, that's what it was. So that first, I guess, how long was it? About 45 minutes he talked to this guy. And after that, we were ready to tear the walls out of the field house. And we were ready to tear the walls out of the field house. I mean, it was crazy. And it was like that the whole year.
Was the new field house built by then? Did it start with you guys? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Coach Kirk built that. Coach Kirk had that thing built.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, that baby was nice.
Yeah.
It was.
The day Coach Kirk spit in my face, I like to took him out.
Yeah.
Well, there's another article I read today, and it was written back in 2013, and it mentioned nicknames. Well, Royce mentioned earlier, I think Jay too, on the text, the mule. That was Oscar or Ernest Mosley?
Oscar Mosley.
All right, who wants to tell us why he got the name the mule?
Because his teeth was sticking straight out.
Oh,
Straight out. That's what I call him. I gave him the name Mule. Yeah, his teeth was sticking straight out from his lip, right? That's why I call him Mule.
Oh man, what about?
The story is that, you know,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
They called him Mule. We were on our way down to El Paso to play in the Sun Bowl. And the whole trip down, I mean, that's a long trip on a bus. The running backs kept telling Oscar, don't be eating none of that grass on the side of the road there in the ditch, Oscar. And, you know, he just a mule. They kept saying that the whole trip. And then we were in the game. We're in the game, and we had just gotten down to about 3-yard line. And we're getting ready to score. And Billy Williams looked up and said, Oscar, don't be eating none of this AstroTurf now. We all started laughing. He got a penalty. But we still scored. But it was so hilarious because Billy Williams never spoke. God rest his soul, because he passed away.
Yeah.
That was the quietest, hardworking guy I've ever seen. So
yeah, it was good.
That was
That's
so
cool.
funny. I mean, you just had to be there, but I mean, he just said,
Yeah.
"You don't be eating on this AstroTurf now."
Yeah.
So, Kelly, I guess you're a goober.
No,
No,
that was
Uber's Grant
no,
Taylor.
that was
he was
Grant Taylor.
grape ape. They called him
He's a
grape
great
ape.
babe.
Oh, you're the grape ape. Okay.
He's
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
yeah.
on here. So
Yeah,
tell
grape
us
ape.
tell us a
Okay,
little
he
about
looks
the
like
grape
him.
ape.
I think that came from the golf course, and I don't know really who started that. I had never seen the cartoon, and
That was me that started that.
so they started calling me Grape Ape. And there's one thing about this bunch: if you let them think it bothers you, they're going to wear you out with it. And so I just said, "Yeah, call me Grape Ape. I don't care what you call me." So,
See, the funny thing is that when we went to the line of scrimmage, we had calls at the line of scrimmage to tell who's going to double team. And it's either me double teaming with the tackle or me double teaming with Kelly or the running back. So we go to the line of scrimmage. Irvin Davis his name was Hulk. So we go to the line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
and I'd scream Hulk. And, everybody, the guy across me was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" About that time, we'd wipe him off the face of the earth. And when I was blocking beside Kelly, I'd say, "Hey," and Goober, I'd say Goober, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun to do that.
So who was Goober?
Goober
Who
didn't
was-
really take his name.
Grant
Goober really
Taylor.
didn't take his
Okay.
nickname very well for a while, but he let it show, and we wore him out until he just accepted he was Goober. So
Well, then,
Yeah.
all right. I got a couple more nicknames. Who's the bull?
that's Royce.
That's Royce.
That's me.
Is that you, Royce? Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, name fits very well. And who's the duck?
That was Tim Bird.
Tim
Yeah,
Bird.
Tim Bird. Yeah, Tim Bird.
The first guy that was the duck was Arlen Thompson. And
Yeah, Arlen Thompson.
there's a story behind that I can't tell in mixed company. But
just tell it.
No, had to do with bowling alley. I'm not going to say, but the funny thing about it is one of the coaches, I can't remember what his name was, but would sit there and say, "Tim Bird's the duck, quack quack quack, waddle waddle waddle." He always had to block through these metal these stands. You had to stay down, not to hit your head. And the coach would always say, "Tim Bird's a duck, quack quack quack, waddle waddle waddle." Got a kick.
The one thing I forgot to ask you guys is your positions. Okay, Scott, you were the quarterback. Jay was the tight end. Royce was the tailback. Luis?
I was a fullback.
Fullback, my apology.
Yeah, I'm fullback.
I played defensive end.
Defensive end. And then what about you, Kelly? What was your position?
I was left tackle, offensive tackle.
Okay.
So everybody on the offense had a nickname.
Yes.
Stork was Kevin. I mean, not
We
Ken
called
Story?
Kevin Stork.
Story was the Stork, and Igo was Opie from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I think the only one that didn't have one was McWilliams, and I'm not sure why he didn't have one. But
He was too sweet and nice.
But Scott, we were doing a play.
He's pretty tough.
We couldn't come up with a good nickname for Scott, but we were doing a play in English or something, and he had the part of Howie the Milkman, and so that's how Howie became Howie.
Do you
We
say
never
that?
called. We never
Go
called
ahead,
him
Kelly.
Scott. Do I?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask in a minute.
No, we never called him Scott. It was always Howie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till today.
So do
Yeah,
you
it
think
was-
that having those nicknames lent itself to you having a deeper bonding and camaraderie with each other?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, we
Yeah.
were
It was just like
we
family.
were a close knit bunch, and we
Exactly.
didn't care whether you were black, brown, blue, white, or whatever. We
Yep,
were
it
all
was a-
brothers on that team.
Yeah, we was straight
You know,
brothers.
when somebody lined up across from us, and then Scott yelled "Hut, Hut," and we came off the line, those guys across from us knew we were coming, and they understood that we were going to hurt them. I was on Facebook, and I talked to one of the defensive ends from Hereford that played against us, and he said, "What'd you play?" I said, "I played tight end." He said, "Man, you hurt me." And I said, "Yeah, how about Urban? Did he hurt you?" And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "You guys all just beat the hell out of us." And then I was at Texas Tech after the season in recruiting, and some of the Permian guys were there, and they came up to me and said, "What happened to y'all at the end of that game? You know, they're beating the hell out of us." And Kelly came up to a bunch of us at the end of the game. He said, "We've got, I think it was 6 minutes and 23 seconds or something like that for the rest of the end of our high school career. Let's go kick some ass." So we went out there and just started wearing those guys out. And they said, "Y'all beat us up so badly we wouldn't play the guys from Houston, and we were so sore we couldn't play with them."
That's right.
I mean,
Wow.
that was really funny.
Well,
Yeah.
there's another there's that article from 2013. It said, and I assume it's correct. Royce, you gained 1,650 that year. Irvin did 1,015, and Billy Williams did 1,050. So that's like 36, a little over 3,600 rushing yards for that team.
We didn't
Right.
pass. Howie couldn't hit the broadside of the barn, so we didn't ever pass.
You throw Mule in
Sherwood
there.
brought in the wing tee. He brought in the wing tee. All we did was run.
I know.
And,
Royce, what were
against
you going to
Hereford,
say?
I was
Excuse
going to
me?
say, if you throw Mule in, we probably had 4,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Well, Mule, because he's gonna be kicking everybody in the back. So he's been all right. I'm just joking. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys,
Oh, Mule.
you guys had an offensive
If
power.
not, he's gonna bite somebody.
Yes, absolutely. And then Scott, I read that you threw at least 10 touchdowns that year. So hey, that wasn't that bad.
I
No,
had 3 of them.
that was the, way before what the game looks like today. But I remember we threw it like 15 times in that game Joe was talking about against Hereford. Remember Rayford, SMU was one of the first ones to start really throwing the ball, and Rayford, "Oh man, we're trying to be SMU or something."
The thing that Rayford and I got to do on all the running plays was when the running back broke the line of scrimmage, we were downfield blocking, and we were down there knocking people on the butts. We hit this one guy. What was that golfer's name that we hit him and hurt his eye?
I can't
One of your
remember.
friends, Kelly?
I think he was with Monterey.
From Monterey, I think. And we both hit him at the same time, and I thought his eye came out of the socket, but I think it just hurt him. Just hit him so hard.
That
the guy I hit at Hereford, Urban went out on the pass on the right side and in the flat, and I went down the field and turned back around and came back. Urban caught the ball, and there was a defensive back behind him, and I hit him, and when I hit him, I broke both the bolts on my face mask and knocked me out, and they said it broke his sternum. I don't know, but all I know is I was standing on the sidelines with my face mask, holding my face mask. My helmet was swinging when I woke up, and my cage was flat. So I took it to Buck Buchanan and I said, "Will you fix my helmet?" And they said, "No, you're not supposed to." And I said, "You don't want to fight him or me?" And so they put my helmet back together, and and I went in the game, and I was in there for a couple of plays, and coach sent somebody out there to get me, and I said no. And then Sherwood came out and got me, took me out of the game. So there were some crazy things like that went on too.
Yeah.
I read that you guys had like 3 core plays that you guys ran over and over and over again. And then against Hereford, as you mentioned, you guys were a little cocky. You were letting the defensive guys on Hereford what you were going to run, and they still couldn't stop you guys.
We told them what we were going to run. We ran the same play the whole second half, and we just ran over them. I mean, they couldn't stop us.
Yeah.
Now, Irvin was a junior?
Yes, he was junior.
He was a junior. And I know he ended up in Texas for 4 years. And so was he the tailback, or was Billy the tailback?
Billy was the tailback.
Billy was tailback.
Irvin was the wingback. We ran the wing T, so you had a T formation with a wingback out to the side.
Okay. Lewis, defense. You're the only defensive guy here.
I
So
am.
what did you guys run? What was y'all's defensive?
Well, I mean, gosh, our defense was, we had our four front linemen, and kind of, with our three linebackers, and of course, the guys that transitioned in once coach got here. We moved some folks around, but a lot of our players were backups on offense. So it was nice to see that now, we weren't going to have to, play a lot of offense and just concentrate on defense. And that was a really good thing. We could concentrate on our positions, and because we had the talent was at every position. So there was some learning some defenses, but our Kevin Pardo, as linebacker on defensive end on the left side, and he had Kevin Woods and Gary Russell. Of course, Bruce. I'm not talking about
Bruce McWilliams.
Well, no, McWilliams was center, but when we transitioned, Scott came in at quarterback, and we moved our quarterback to safety.
Bruce Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley, yes, and of course, our other linebackers. I mean, we were deep with talent, and even good backups. So offense stayed on the field so long. They were running all the way down. So we enjoyed the playing time. Was not a whole lot, but we were on the field a whole lot. Gave us a chance to really be fresh, throughout the season.
Okay, Lisa.
I want to know if y'all had any rival players. I mean, I know we had rival schools, but did you have an opposing player from another school that you just wanted to beat the shit out of him?
Yes.
Paul Bell.
I can answer that. There was some.
Paul Bell.
Yeah. Go ahead, Royce.
My rival was Paul Bell because he was fast.
And who did he play for?
He played for Hereford.
Okay.
Hereford Whiteface. Yeah, he was good and fast. He was. Yeah, I remember we went and played them for homecoming. They thought they were going to beat us, but we went down there and spoiled their homecoming. We spoiled it pretty bad. Yep. Yeah, we spoiled them pretty bad.
Estacado had some studs.
Yeah, Estacado. I want to beat them guys. Yeah. This dude named Kevin White, he was a real fast black guy. He run 9.2, 9.3 and stuff. He talked trash, a whole lot of trash. And I didn't like that guy anyway. But he played defensive back and was the first time I got the ball, I ran, I don't know how many yards I ran, but they gave me the ball first time and I ran. And he was a whole lot faster than I was, but he couldn't catch me. I put it in second gear. He couldn't catch me. I was running pretty fast. I put it in that second gear right there, and I was looking at him. He said, well, I ain't going to say it. I'm going to go ahead and say, nigga, you ain't going to do it the next time. I went the same thing. I went right back there and did the same again and ran over him. It was okay, all right. That's what he said, all right. Okay. Yeah, but we was talking to no, he talking nigga. He said, nigga, that's what he said. I'm serious. I'm okay. I'm just not trying to be racist, nothing like that. Nigga, I'm gonna get you the next time. I went right back to the same play and ran another long touchdown on his ass. Sorry ass fool. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing about that Estacado team, when I think about it, they had Dewey Turner, they had Jeff Gray that played at Texas, and he played in the NFL for years. Now he's an NFL coach. But
yeah.
And we were 4A. That was the big school then, was 4A. And
we were 3A.
Estacado got beat in the 3A semifinals that year. I mean, they made all the way
right.
We beat them 40-6.
Yeah.
It's like Dewey Turner was played at Texas. He lined up across from me, and I took care of him all night.
Sure did.
He was a big guy, but
What about you, Kelly?
Lewis was going to say, Lewis, who was your rival? Who was your nemesis?
Well, I remember the one that I really wanted to be real bad was the Monterey Plainsmen. They had a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
When we were, I guess I was a sophomore, y'all were juniors. That quarterback they had,
Ron Reeves,
big mouth, just nonstop. And I remember wanting to play him so bad, and really put him in his place. We got that opportunity. That was very rewarding.
It felt good, didn't it?
Real good.
What about you,
Yeah.
Kelly?
But you guys,
Man, I didn't know many of those guys that we played. The only one that I really knew was Kelly Kitchens at Hereford. He was the quarterback, and I competed with him on the golf course too. But I don't know that we ever had a rivalry. That I ever had anybody over there that I actually knew that.
They were too scared of you. It was too big. They was too scared of you. You were too big.
Our rivalry,
that's
the
thing.
school we hated the most was Monterey. And
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Monterey neither.
Royce, tell us a story about the cast at Sun Bowl.
You know what?
Coach Thomas said it was a fake injury, but you said it wasn't a fake injury.
There wasn't no fake injury. I wouldn't fake nothing like that because I wanted to play real bad. That's what they said was fake. But I forgot. I think it was Kelly Raper. Somebody fell my ankle and hyperextended it. Hyperextended some kind of way. And when we got through having a meeting, we had to go back to the field house, and I was just crippled. You know, I was crippled. And I remember Dr. Branch come over and looked at it and stuff right there. And he shot me up with some Novocaine or something like that. I don't know what they shot me up with. They taped my leg up or something. I don't know, but it was hyperextended, whatever. And they taped it up, and I had a cast on it. And we went down to El Paso, down there, and they had a cast on it. And I think the next morning and stuff, I told my legs, I think I can run on it. I was out there running with the cast on it. So Coach Sherwood and them cut it off right there. I'm running down the hallway. I said, okay, I'm ready. And they cut it off, and it was for real. They thought he was joking, but I wasn't joking. Okay. Everybody thought I was joking. It wasn't joking.
We were doing a walkthrough through the just doing a walkthrough, and Branch was playing defense against me, Gary, and somehow or another we got tangled up, and I think I threw Branch on the Royce, and I don't know if he was hurt or not because.
Yeah, I was hurt. You think hey man, I want to play in that game real bad. I'm serious. I wasn't trying to joke with that.
He come running in my room when we were in El Paso. I think Goober and I were rooming, and when he started calling everybody Peckerwoods and crackers and all that shit, I knew he was ready to go.
Well,
That's funny.
my phone rang that morning, and it was Dad calling me, and he said, "What size shoe do you wear?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, give those to Royce. He's playing." And I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" And he said, "Find some." And I ended up wearing somebody's just regular old tennis shoes in that game. I didn't have any cleats.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I remember how hard the wind was blowing. The wind was blowing like crazy. Sun Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, we took the win.
The day before.
We took the win.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I got to tell you,
It
gentlemen,
didn't matter.
I was just going to tell you, Jim, yesterday morning I talked to my mom, and Lisa and I were in 8th grade when you guys were seniors. Well, my mom, myself, my aunt, and my cousin, we went and saw you guys. We drove to El Paso to watch you guys play, and we also went to Odessa to watch you guys play. So I don't know why. I mean, I was a young kid. I guess I told her. I said, "Let's go watch them play." So yeah, I witnessed this and enjoyed the games, even the loss. But you guys played really hard. So like so.
I remember the way the people were online on the side of the road when we went to Lubbock to play Permian. I mean, there were signs just last going out of town, turning out the lights and all that kind of stuff. We got pretty fired up.
Yeah.
At the Permian game, I don't know how many of y'all saw this, but there was a guy that walked out on the field with a bunch of black balloons, and there was one red balloon in the middle, and the wind was blowing there like crazy. He let those balloons go, and the balloons went straight up in the air, and the red one stayed in the middle. That freaked me out. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I never.
They had that black magic up over there. That's what happened. Them guys doing that voodoo
that.
stuff over there.
It's
Watch
some
them guys, man.
voodoo
You
shit.
gotta watch this shit. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
I-
funny.
First
I
play
wanna-
we fumbled. Go
Huh?
ahead.
Lisa.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask, like, can you recall, like, what is the funniest thing that ever happened on the field or with the team or in the clubhouse? I'm gonna start with Lewis.
With me,
Yeah, you're the quietest, so I'm gonna pick on you.
okay. Well, one of the funniest things I recall was in a game that we were on defense and Pardo got hit pretty hard, and the offense had gone back out on the field. We were standing on the sideline talking, and all of a sudden we look back, and he is completely passed out, fell back. Right, so he was out. They take him, they put him on. Of course, back then, now they had the tents that they put over everybody. Right, they had a big table, laid him out, started pulling his pants down, taking his uniform, off, and it was like, oh my God, he's in the middle. And he finally come to, and he was trying to get his clothes on, and they were trying to treat him. That was a pretty funny scene because he could see it on the film too. But we were watching the film because everybody was watching and said, "Watch him, he's going to fall right now." Sure enough, he just falls right back, and that was a real funny time. But I remember talking about it for a long time.
Why were they taking his pants off?
Well, they were undressing him, trying to, of course they're trying to, I guess, cool him off. I don't know. But it was just so funny because it was one of the things that it was in one of our home games.
Oh my gosh.
What about you, Scott? What about you, Scott?
Yeah.
It wasn't funny at the time, but over the years, it's gotten to be real funny. When we were playing Hereford and Rayford goes WWF.
Oh yeah.
On the Hereford guy. Does a drop on him and gets booted. It wasn't funny that night, but by the time we got home, it was funny.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny till Monday. I can tell you that.
Kelly, what about you?
Real good.
What about you, Kelly?
Man, we had so much fun that.
What stands out?
The one thing that kind of stands out to me that I think Royce was part of this, and Jay and Goober, and we never were really used to, before a pregame, we cut the lights off, everybody's laying around, and we did that the first game, and next thing you know, Goober and I are in there playing grab ass or whatever, and I think Scott could probably finish this story, but I think he went and told his dad, we're not going to.
I never ratted you guys out.
You ought to see these guys back there. They're not ready to play. They're not ready to do any of this. So they moved us after we beat Estacada that game. I think Coach Sherwood told Scott, said, hell, if they play like that, let them do whatever the hell they want, But they ended up moving us out, and they ended up, while everybody else was in the film room, the dark room, meditating or whatever the hell they were doing, they put us back in where they kept all the pole vault equipment, and we stayed out there and cut up with Royce, and Anthony Adcock's got his name by Royce too. That while we were all joking around, and so some of the nicknames really weren't that bad. Grape Ape didn't sound too bad because Anthony was Goat Face. So
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What about you, Jay?
Well, Kelly and I always sat together on the bus trips on any of the games. And we sat there and talked. We're on the way. I guess it was we're on the way to Coronado in Lubbock, and he looks up and he goes, "I had a dream last night." I said, "Really? What was it?" He said, "You were running down the field, and you were wide ass open, And I was on the ground. I looked up through everybody's legs and everything, and I saw the ball coming, and it hit you right in the hands, and you dropped it. And I'll be damned if I didn't do that game.
Oh, wow. God.
Was on the
Yeah.
front
I was
page.
like, what the
Was on the front page of the Lubbock paper
Hey,
with
was that
Miller
this?
holding his head.
fuck?
Was
My
that
hand
this?
behind my head.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, right.
I dreamed that play the night before, and I don't know if I ought to tell you this or not, but I told him that dream driving up to Lubbock in the bus.
That messed you up. You messed it up.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I didn't drop many passes, but we didn't throw many passes. But there's some famous ones. The one he threw there that I dropped, and then the one that Urban threw to me in the Permian game that I dropped on the sidelines. And but that Kelly called that. I've never forgiven him for that.
No,
What about you?
right, come on.
What about you, Royce? I know you got to have some fun ones about your boys.
Oh, I got a whole lot of all kinds of stuff. I guess it was just Escada, because my uncle and them, they stayed in Lubbock. He said, "Man, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all. I'm just gonna tell you the straight up truth. I'm not gonna lie to you." He said, "Man, them white boys ain't gonna be able to do with all them niggas up over there. I'm all niggas up over there. I'm all niggas up over there." And my uncle and them, they stayed in Lubbock. And Coach Lewis Kelly, I think he was the head coach right there.
Yeah.
And they gave me the ball, and I broke loose. And I heard him over yelling, "Get that big nigga! Get that big nigga!" That was in there. Yeah, it was crazy, real crazy. I know y'all heard about that. Get that big nigga! You were talking real loud, boy. Boy, that cracked me up. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh,
Another one of the funnest things is going to the line of scrimmage and telling the guys how we're gonna block you. And that they would just look at
bust your ass.
All right,
Mhm.
that's pretty cool, guys. All right, we had 5 players from the class of '83 on about a couple weeks ago, and one of the things I asked them, like in your case, Lewis, your defense, I know you probably put some amazing hits, knocked some guys on their asses. You guys blocked Jay, Kelly, Royce. You ran them. You guys got the best of these guys. I want to know who got the best of you, and let's start with Scott. Who one hit did you still remember?
Yeah, I can tell you. It was in that Estacada game. I got 2. Estacada game, Jerry Gray intercepted me, and I thought I was fixing to tackle him on the sideline. And Dewey Turner hit me and put me up on the track. And I never saw him coming. And then the other one was in Monterey, I think. I always say this nose looks this way because it protected my face so much. But good looking face. But I think it was Monterey when Greg hollered at me. The guy got by, and back then you had that 2-bar mask and a T-bar thing.
Right. Some
fist come through there, and it just bent my nose all the way over to here. And then Dr. Weidenbach over at the sideline just took a pair of those old tape scissors and stuck it up my nose and straightened it out.
Ouch.
He could just hear it crunching as he brings it back, and he says, "You're good,"
Ouch.
Yeah.
What about you, Royce?
Yeah.
Who knocked you on your ass? You got to tell the truth.
Who knocked me on the ass?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't. Let's see. I can't. I don't know. I was busting their ass. That's what I was doing. When they run into me and stuff, that's why they call me the bull. When they hit me right there, maybe a guy from Tascosa or something. When he hit me right there, I ran over him and kept it going. I ran a 98-yard touchdown on him, and that's the only thing that pissed me off. No, I wasn't that tough. No, but I don't remember. I don't remember getting hit real hard. I really don't. Maybe from that's a Permian or something like that. Maybe.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can remember. Maybe. But usually, it was pretty good.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
There was this little guy from Odessa Permian. He was probably about 5'11", and I'm 6'3", and he lined up across from me, and he twisted his whole body around. He had his arm up, and every time I fire off and hit him, he'd bring that shoulder around and hit me with the forearm right in the jaw. I told him, do that one more time, and you're going to get hurt. And he did one more time, and I took him out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Lewis?
Oh my gosh.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, it was real crazy. Back in them times, oh, it was good. Yep. 78, 79, it was good. Like I said, we bought Plainview together and stuff, and everybody was happy. If anybody wanted to rob the bank that night and stuff, they could have, because all the cops and everybody else was right at the football game. Everybody was at the football game. Everybody. Yeah. Even the church people. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What about you, Lewis? What about you, Lewis?
For me, it was number 61 from Odessa Premium, but it was a pulling guard. He pulled blindsided me. I remember that clearly. And he didn't do it again, but he got me the first time. And it was a solid hit. The second one was in our hometown. We were running downfield, and I got hit by one of my own players. Kevin Woods hit me, almost knocked me out.
That's a big man.
He was a big guy. He hit me, blindsided me too. He stopped, picked me up. He said, "Junior, you okay?" I'm a junior, right? So he would always call me Junior. Junior, you all right? I said, "Jesus, man, you got to watch what you're doing." That was one of the biggest hits that I had ever had.
Woods was one of the fastest people on the team. He was a big boy, but he was fast. So I imagine
he was fast.
Now, was Kevin 80 or 81? Kevin.
He was a junior, I think. Wasn't he a junior?
1980.
He was a junior.
He was your class.
On our team.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
What about you, Kelly?
That year we're talking about, I don't remember one. It was the year before playing Coronado, and completely different offense. I was still playing tackle, and I was alternating with Tom. We were alternating with Tommy Knoll, and there was one little guy on the side. There was one little defensive end for Coronado was just pretty much wearing us both out, and he caught me a couple of times with his forearm. And I remember Tommy come off the line. He goes, "Is that guy kicking your ass like he's kicking mine?" I said, "Yeah, I caught one in the chops over there." And I still, I think he deadened my front two teeth because I had to have my two teeth replaced over time. But yeah, and the one thing about it was when this kid hit you, your knees and stuff just started wobbling like you're getting knocked out. And so when you're watching it we had to watch the film with all of our, the following day. And if anybody ever saw that, Royce was the worst one. He goes, "Ooh, great, he dogged you." Yeah. Oh, you got dogged. So,
yeah. Yeah.
But our year, 78 year, I don't remember ever getting really hit that hard.
No, you was doing all the hitting. You giving elbows and stuff like that. You was jacking people up. Wow. You was pretty good. Yeah.
So
I'm surprised you ever got touched, Royce.
Huh?
That's why Royce
never got touched. We kept you clean.
That's why
they protect. Yeah, they had your back.
Yeah, I was pretty clean. Yeah, I was pretty clean. Yeah. They kept me wide open spaces. I can run from then on. I had a wide open space, But the thing is and stuff, I was pretty fast and stuff, but it'll be another time when I tell everybody this stuff when Scott outran me going to regionals. I couldn't believe it, but he outran my ass. Yeah. He ended up going to regionals and I didn't. I was, what happened here? Yep, he beat me. Yep. In the 100-yard dash. In the 100-yard dash, he beat me. Yep.
Well, it was
He was
funny
way
too.
too fast
It was
for me.
funny too when the running back was going downfield. Kelly and I were running behind him, trying to stay up with him because our job was to cut off the blocking behind us so we didn't get a penalty. So we get down there and we're running along down there, and we're right beside Royce or Billy or somebody like that, and we start waving our arms like this to cut off the blocking. And then we turn around and block, and that's when we hit the his eye like that.
Okay.
We used
the
to
first time
throw block.
The first time we did that,
throw yourself at.
The first time we did that was in the Estacada game, our first game, and everybody thought we were excessive to celebrating, but Royce was running over everybody, and so yeah, once he got free, that was the call off all the blocks. But I can tell you one thing: I'm glad I was on offense because I wouldn't want to try to tackle that guy. So I didn't want to be part of Royce. I can promise.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't want to be part of running backs.
You know, and that article, it mentioned that when Midland came into town, that was the first time Bulldog Stadium was sold out. I guess that's what it said. So if that's the case, Kelly, when you walked out and you saw these thousands of people in that little stadium, how did that make you feel?
Well, we were warming up, and it came across the PA announcer and said the press box side, whatever side that is, was completely sold out. So if you wanted a seat, you had to go over, which was historically the visitor side. So I don't know how many people we had there, but it was standing room only. And that's a game that there's a funny story to that. We had a Steve Alexander. He was our punter and field goal kicker. His nickname was Porky. So
Porky.
So before the game, he went to Coach Sherwood and said that he felt like he could punt the ball and kick the ball better barefooted. And and after a little bit of convincing, Coach Sherwood said, "Okay, go. I'll let you kick without your shoe on." So on the punt team, we had 3 personal protectors back there. I was one of them, and so when the ball went by us, we count to 3, and then we go downfield, and so we snapped the ball. We had to punt. I mean, Midland Lee beat it. We were winning at halftime. We ended up getting beat 16-14. But Porky, first time he had to punt, ball went by me and by us, and count 3, and I take off, and all of a sudden I hear this big thud, and he got the punt blocked. He kicked this guy in the head with his bare foot, and I think the ball ended up in his hand. So, and that's kind of what set Midland Lee up to score. We had a blocked punt, but we had another sellout in Clovis. They had over 7,000 people at Clovis. They were the state champions, and we played them over there. And then when we played Odessa Permian, we actually drew more of that game than Tech drew for their next home game. So
Oh wow.
So yeah, we had it was a heck of a following. Hereford game was the same way. Once we got rolling after that Estacada game, I think we beat them 40-6, and so everybody started traveling, and then a lot of the older men in town, they hated Amarillo, they hated the Sandys, and we beat them in the regular season, and we beat them in by-district. So they were pleased because that was their nemesis growing up. I remember these guys telling us, "Y'all just beat Amarillo, and we're all good." So so we had a lot of people following us around, even in El Paso, as far as that was. We had a bunch of folks there.
Right.
Well, that's a real segue. That's a good to the question I've been wanting to ask you guys. This has to do not necessarily you playing, but with your families.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that y'all had that your parents, everybody was coming out to the games and supporting. And how did they
Mhm.
about? I mean, did they get excited at the idea that there's and he changes and now
Oh
you're a
yeah.
powerhouse?
Yeah, my dad, he was real excited. He'd go and be bragging over there in Blacktown, be bragging. Everybody would be bragging over there in Blacktown. I took Kelly Raper and Goober up over there to the Funky Onion. So them guys was all right. I took them to Blacktown over to the Funky Onion. Huh? And we stepped up in that music playing and all that. So I took Goober and Kelly Raper over to the Funky Onion. Music stopped. Everybody looking around and says, "Oh, you got to be all right." Huh? What are these guys doing up in here? I said, "You got to be just fine." At Funky Onion, that was a little bit of hole in the wall joint. That was a hole in the wall joint. It was crazy. Yeah, but my dad, he
when
was
we went
brag.
in, we were so much bigger than everybody else that you know, it
Oh
really
yeah, there wasn't nobody gonna fool the
intimidated
guys.
people. I mean, I
No,
know
they were.
we were back for the stadium dedication for Coach Sherwood. I was talking
Mhm.
the quarterback's parents, Miller, and they were like, "God, I wish he had some linemen like y'all. They'd be good." And I said, "Well, we were definitely a big group of guys and formidable team to deal with." You know, I listened to what the
Some
coaches
big
said
guys.
the other day too. They were like, you know, we probably had some of the best talent of anybody in the state of Texas, and I think I agree with that.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly. Yep.
I
Yeah.
like what I never heard that until I heard the story was that Coach Sherwood went back to Sherman and said, "Of course I'm going to play. You got to come see the athletes they've got down there." And did he
Right.
tell you that, Scott?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the case. And, you know, and he knew pretty quick that could be pretty special. I don't know if, you know, you never know, but I always thought, I mean, my thinking was we could have won it all if he'd have got there
Yeah.
a year or two earlier.
Oh
And,
yeah.
I think that 78 year, I don't think there was anybody, you know, I know Permian kicked us, but I don't know that they were really better. But, you know, we
I don't
didn't,
think so.
I think we didn't figure out. I always thought, you know, we kind of played that game not to lose it instead of to win it. And I just think that's a experience of, or it maybe what you say is a lack of experience, that being the very first time Plainview had ever been in the playoffs ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Scott. And then you guys can answer as well. When did you guys know that this was the magical team? This was the team that was going to go far. At one point, in which game, and did you guys know? Hey, we're going to do it this year.
You just
Oh, I
kept
think
kicking everybody's butt.
I
No big
don't.
deal. I mean,
It was
I,
quick. By about week 2 or 3, you felt like this thing could really gel and be something special. And then all the way back to spring ball, you know, we worked on stuff every week in practice. You know, we're playing Midland Lee or whoever. We still worked on stuff that we didn't do till Monterey. You know, we had that, what was it, Monterey Special, guys, or something like that. And
yeah, we never ran the
I don't.
ball to our. We never ran the ball to the outside on
Hey,
our side.
yeah. And
Excuse
then
me
we
for
come
1
that
second.
way and pitched it to Royce for the first time ever and rang them up. But, you know, I think we knew when we handled Monterey that it was the real deal. And Emerald High. I mean, like Kelly said earlier, when we beat them, I don't remember what it was. It was like 34 to something, but
34-6.
okay, yeah, I knew it was
We're
pretty
What
stomping
game
good.
was
everybody.
this?
Amarillo High.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
we
yeah.
were whipping them on the line of scrimmage, and the
Yeah.
backs were running, and everybody was just so good. I mean, it was just amazing. You know, it was
Right.
easy.
Well, we shut them down too.
Yeah.
We got a
And
couple of
Mhm.
key turnovers.
The defense did great.
If I remember right,
Hey,
we got an key interception there that let us score right before half.
hey, excuse me, guys. Do you guys remember when it wasn't raining and they went down there and wet the field up real bad, real muddy?
Really?
Yep.
Coach
playoff.
Sherwood went there and got me some spikes, some big old spikes like tractors, big old tractor spikes right there. And it got up in there. I think I rushed for, I don't know, 160, 170 yards. I was like a tractor. He gave me some big old spikes up in all that mud, and what it hadn't even rained. It hadn't even rained or nothing. Yeah, it hadn't even rained.
That's
wet as
the game that Scott threw. You threw me that little tight end. When I ran 3 yards down and cut out, you threw that to me, and I ran the whole team to the end zone down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They couldn't catch me.
Nope.
What game? Who were y'all playing? What game was that?
Amarillo, I believe.
Amarillo.
Amarillo.
Yeah, that was when we played in the second time in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That field was as muddy as it could be, and it hadn't rained.
Yeah.
They were trying to slow our game down because they couldn't catch us, and so they wet the field down.
They had it muddy up in the back to Coach Sherwood. So I some for you, Royce. He had some big old spikes on there. He turned me into a tractor, and I went to pulling. Yeah, I mean, I'm not bragging or nothing like that, but he gave me some big old spikes right there. I was like a tractor there.
You always brag.
You're a Coleman. That's what you Colemans do.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, but he gave me some big old spikes and stuff, and so yeah. So it was great. It was real good. Real good. That was, like I say, we had a great time. Yeah, everybody was having good at school. Everybody was having fun at school, and they were getting out those what were those big red sodas? I think it was big red sodas on homecoming and stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was good.
What's fun is when Coach Sherwood got inducted into the high school Hall of Fame. Kelly and myself and Scott down there.
I was there.
I didn't know nothing about it.
And he got inducted, and we all went down for the ceremony. And then it was nice to see that they had those big ribbons with all of our names on there. And they put that big ribbon in his display there, so it was cool. We're all in the high school Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Funny you say that. I saw on Facebook that I guess Plainview has a star, like the Hollywood Grosvenor Chinese Theater have these actors and actresses or musicians get a star at in Hollywood. Plainview does something like that. Well, they need to do a star with the 78 team. I'm telling you, that will be the icing on the cake. So,
yes, it would be.
Speaking.
Well,
go ahead, Lisa.
No, were you going to ask the Coach Sherwood question?
No, I was going to ask one more question before we go to Sherwood. Of Kelly and Lewis. How important was the community and the band to come together to support you guys? So I'm gonna start with Kelly and then Lewis. So how important was that, Kelly?
Well, that was all Coach Sherwood's doing, and yeah, I mean he had a knack of bringing people together, and so he started with the band, and I know we had a pep rally for them when they were going to go to some marching contest, and we went out there and celebrated with the band, and I don't think anybody's ever done that before. And so, yeah, a lot of those guys that were in the band, some of those guys could have played on the football team and chose the band. And so I think that was just another selling point that Coach Sherwood did. And he got the whole community behind it. He got the whole school behind us. All the teachers were behind us. We had a booster club where he showed the game film after every game. So you could walk all over Plainview and see nothing but red dots everywhere. I mean, it was a crazy time, and it was a good time for a bunch of 17, 18-year-old kids to have have a great senior year, because it's something I don't think any of us will ever forget.
Now, Johnny Turpin, he was in band and on the football team, wasn't he? He was a
Yeah,
big boy.
He was a
Yeah,
linebacker.
he was a
Yeah,
linebacker.
he was a big old boy. All right, let's see. What do you? Let's hear about Mr. Turpin or the community or the band supporting y'all.
Well, I same to Kelly, what he's saying, the way he brought everybody around the team together. To me, it was the respect thing, the community, having those meetings where you would show film and asking us to invite our parents to go, and how they got pumped up about it, how, around the community, the elementary schools, even the younger kids, they'd see you and you were wearing your uniform, stuff like that. So it was a motivation thing about we were winning, and now your communities around you. You don't want to, you want to perform. You want to perform for your players, but now for your community too, because it was a whole thing, and especially the band. To me, that was such a motivator, and I'll never forget in El Paso where we're having what we talked about, that quiet time. And again, it was windy, and you could hear the wind, and we were in the locker room, and then you hear the buses pull up, right, and then you hear the band. You talk about a team going crazy. We never, from that moment on, we never went down. You couldn't control us all the way out into the field. That band was such a motivator for us. In all games, especially that game. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's a great
Wow.
story.
Right,
Yeah.
Miss Lisa. Okay.
Okay, so this is a good segue into this really important question. And Scott, you're going to be the last one to answer this because it's about your dad. I want to know the impact that Coach Sherwood had on you. And I'll start with Royce.
What kind of impact?
Yeah. How did he influence your life? How did he impact you?
Oh my goodness. I could just tell you way too many stories and stuff, but he was like a dad to me. I go in there with any kind of problem and stuff, and he would solve it real quick. He talked real nice, and oh my goodness, you just don't know. Matter of fact, I go talking about it, I go to bring tears to my eyes, but he was great. He was great. Yeah. But he
Thank
was
you for sharing.
yeah. Yep. Let me
That's wonderful.
yeah. Or you just don't know how
Lewis, how
great he
about
was.
you?
One of the things that I learned, and I want to go back to the other day that I listened to the podcast that the coach Trammell and the other two coaches were on there, and y'all asked a question about who they coached and went on to the collegiate level into the professional level. I remember Coach Tomlin said that he had just a one, and that was that the coach of Dave Campbell for the that's in the pros now, right? And he said that was really the only one. But coaches, especially Coach Sherwood, what they brought, the coaching method, the respect. Of course, everybody knew about the loyalty effort, but I mean, really the respect that there was. Coach never yelled or screamed. That he had a presence that you didn't want to fail him. Once you got to know, and he was coaching, he would come out to correct you. It was more of a, you didn't want to fail. You didn't want to fail him. You wanted every time to perform. You could tell that's what he expected. And a lot of that, I didn't get an opportunity to go play at collegiate level, but I took a lot of that and I use it even now in my professional career, in my personal life with my families and the kids, is about the effort, about respect, about doing things right the first time and doing it over and over. I remember running the plays over and over. Get it right, guys. Okay, it's not about going to practice and beating y'all up all week long. It's about knowing what you're doing and getting it right. I remember that, and to this day, I use that. I use that, and it was
Wow.
valuable.
Wow, that's very touching, Lewis. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Kelly, what about you?
Oh man, I can't say enough good things about that guy. What he taught us, and he taught us how to handle adversity, and brought you just like life. It's how you react, and you get a punt blocked. Okay, you got to do something else. Somebody scores against you, you got to do something else. He changed my life. And the one thing is, he got all the seniors together, and he put us in a room and he wanted us to go set our goals. And I still have them. In fact, I got a copy of it here. I can show you guys. We came up with 10 goals that the seniors wanted for the team. And we knew we had you asked me when we knew we thought we had a good team. I think it was probably during the spring practice. There was a different step in everybody. Everybody knew we were going to be good. And so to this day, I still set goals, short and long term. And he always said, if you didn't make the goal, you don't give up. You change the way you got to go to achieve that goal. And then him surrounding himself with the likes of Coach Billingsley and Coach Moore and Tomlin, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but that coaching staff was amazing. So you surround yourself with good people. You let them do their job. You oversee it, and that's what he did. And I've got the goals that we set, and the last one on there is win the state 4A championship. And we had a mindset that we could do it, and we just fell short. So I know every one of us, the seniors, we were hoping that next year, the following year, that they could get it done, because they still had a loaded team. But anyway, I can't say enough good things about the guy. He changed my life, definitely.
Thank you, Kelly. That was wonderful. Jay?
And I'll second that. I mean, he changed my life too. I mean, again, I was on the team for 3 years, and the previous coaching staff, we didn't have different plays. We had they put in different offenses, totally different offense. We'd run the veer, we'd run something. I mean, just every week is a new offense, and it was so hard to do. But Kelly and I were very lucky. We had a really special relationship with Coach Sherwood. He didn't just quit talking to us when we left the team. He would always call. I mean, I don't know if y'all know, but I've had heart trouble. I had a heart attack, and then one of the few people that called me were Kelly and Coach Sherwood. And he called and said, "How are you doing? I was working on my boat." He said, "What are you doing that for?" I said, "Well, I'm off. I have something to do." And he always did. And then I remember I got a call, and he said, "I'm in Houston." I said, "Why are you in Houston, Coach?" He said, "Well, I'm at MD Anderson." And I said, "You're at MD Anderson?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got cancer." And I was like, "My gosh!" And I called Kelly. Coach Sherwood wants to have a dinner with us, and so we met down at a Mexican food restaurant in South Houston by the Astrodome, because that's close to the medical center. We had an incredible dinner with he and his wife, and Kelly and I have been known to drink a beer or two, so we didn't hold back that night, and we had a great time, a great dinner, and then got through. He bought the beer, and I was like, he just bought us beer. And you've grown up a little bit when he does that, but it was such a great time. It's such a special thing, and when he passed, we all went to Lubbock for the funeral, and that was a special time, because we were there and to support the man and what he had done for us. And it just was special. Scott, we're so happy that you guys us share your father. He was a wonderful man. And I know you follow in his footsteps, but it's been I can't believe I haven't seen some of these guys for a long time. Kelly and I talk all the time, but it's amazing that we're all still here. I know Royce is having some some problems with health. I'm having some health problems. My joints, they want to take both my knees away, and Kelly's had his knees replaced. We're in bad shape. We left it out there on the field for you guys, and it's hurting today, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I learned more and had more fun than I can't imagine not doing that. My son is 16 and doesn't play any sports. He's 6'3", he's a big kid just like I was. But and I'm glad he's not, because I don't want him to feel like I do when I'm at this age. But the big thing I want to end this with me is that Coach Sherwood changed my life, and a day doesn't go by that I don't think about something he said and something he brought to us guys. Kelly and I are in the oil and gas industry, and we're both successful because we work our butts off, and we learned that from him. And I appreciate it. Again, thank you, Scott. It was wonderful knowing that man.
Thank you. So Scott, your dad had two roles. He was your dad, and he was also your coach. So how did the coach impact you?
This is gonna be hard. I appreciate everything you guys said. You don't know what that means. And it was and I think there's some things you guys said that was key. I don't know, from the time I was 5 years old or younger, I was always hanging around practice and games and that kind of stuff when he was coaching. And I can truthfully say I never heard him raise his voice, which is, I'm not saying a coach that does is wrong. I mean, everybody's got their own style, but I never heard him raise his voice. And
no,
that wasn't his style. And one of the things he told me before he died was there maybe just a few weeks before, he was talking about everything and the players and how much he got out of it, more than what the players did. And the one thing he told me, he says, he said, I tried to get to know everybody. And he said, I hope they all know I loved them.
We knew that.
And
definitely.
The bunch at Plainview, for all the reasons we've had laughed and had a great time talking about it, that it was so special. It was that deeper thing. It was like that thing we talked about that helped build us, all those crazy nicknames or, crazy plays, or that I got to thinking about today about that number dot thing we pulled off in the dressing room all the way up to the Monterey game. It had been there, I don't know, since the summer or something, maybe the spring. But it was, and he and I did a pretty good job, I think, of dividing the dad part and the player part, because essentially after Wednesday practice, we didn't talk to each other at the house till Friday. We were both kind of geared up, and that was kind of our way of doing it. We weren't like Goober and Raper and Miller. But and then Friday night, we'd pretty much stay up all night rehashing everything. But that was really the only times we ever really talked football, was usually on Friday night, outside of the same amount of football he talked with every one of you guys. It wasn't like we spent forever talking about it, but he was always concerned about people from a physical standpoint, mental standpoint, and a spiritual standpoint. I mean, that was important to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he
Yeah.
definitely
Wow.
touched a lot of young lives. I mean,
Yes.
all the years he coached there, and I don't know if you had a chance, but if you do, watch the guys, our classmates from '83. They say a lot of special things about your dad. And
Yeah, I will.
Mo Evans, he mentioned that he was at home mowing the lawn. I think we were in our 40s maybe, and your dad came and he was sitting down. Mo's drinking a beer, and he saw your dad, and all of a sudden he hides a beer behind him. And your dad comes in, and he goes, "Mo, you're 40 years old. You're a grown man. You could drink beer." So I text Mo. I said, it wasn't the fear he had. Your dad seen him do that. It was the respect. The
Right.
respect, like, I'm not gonna have one to know that I have this beer. And I know a lot of players will say a lot of things. And mine, Elisa's goal is to get the class of 80, 81, 82, 84 every year that your dad coached. So hopefully we can get some more other players to
That'd
join
be
us.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think a common theme with every class is that Coach Sherwood brought, besides enthusiasm and the cohesiveness of the community, he brought a level of integrity and play that Plainview had not seen, and that reverberated. It wasn't just about the players. I mean, it had a ripple effect on everybody. It's like his program elevated the school, the community, the camaraderie. I mean, it was just an elevated time, and he brought a high level of expectation and integrity, and everyone followed suit. And I think that's what makes his tenure there so remarkable.
Yes.
He didn't yell, but you could sure tell when he was disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I know that y'all all consider yourselves incredibly blessed and lucky and grateful that you got to know this amazing man, and that you got to play for him and have the kind of team that y'all had. Are there any other coaches that also had an impact on you? Kelly?
No,
He's the
there's
best
no
coach
doubt.
out there, man.
I called Coach Billingsley last week just to talk to him and check in with him, and called his wife first. He goes, "Oh, he's at the field house." I said, "Where else would he be?" And he was told me he's coaching the kickers this year, and so I don't think he's on the payroll, but that's where he wants to be. And like I said it before, those guys he brought in as assistant coaches were incredible. Coach Moore probably had the biggest hands of anybody I've ever seen. Looked like catcher's mitts. And the stories he had,
Yeah.
the stories he had of he played professional baseball, and I forgot somebody was complaining about him spitting on the field or something, and he told him I spit on Yankee Stadium, so I don't think you got a problem with me spitting on this field. But those guys were all incredible, and he had a mix of older guys and young guys, and no, it's just an incredible coaching staff, and I would like to see Coach Sherwood's tree of all the people that worked underneath him, and that it's got to be huge right now. I'm sure Scott has an idea of how many coaches spawned off of Coach Sherwood over the years, but it's just an incredible run, and the only thing we all regret is we didn't win it all. I think we were 2 games away from having a Hollywood movie going. So
Yeah.
Who would have wrote the book? Who would have wrote the book? Who would have written the book? Scott? Jay? No.
Other Scott. I think Scott would have.
I could have written
They
it.
probably wouldn't want to hear mine because I've been talking so much trash. Maybe.
You'll have a lot of N words on there. That's for sure.
Oh, damn sure would be. Yeah.
I Don Palmer.
Yeah,
Don Palmer
yeah.
wrote the book.
Yeah, he was
Don
good.
Palmer,
Yeah.
Kevin Igo.
Kevin Igo. Yeah.
Or Kevin.
What about you? Yeah. What about you, Jay? What other coach influenced you?
I really can't can't single this coach out because Coach Sherwood was so much of a influence that, it just revolved around what he wanted to do. And I just didn't have that, being a tight end, we were treated kind of differently. We didn't have the big coach out there. We just, kind of did our own thing. They didn't know what to do with me. They couldn't catch me and couldn't control me. So it was tough. But, Coach Sherwood always knew how to do it.
Okay. That's
Royce,
cool.
what about you?
Hey, Coach, like I said, Coach Sherwood, he was like a dad to me. Coach Switzer used to be my coach and all that. He's supposed to be one of the best coaches in college and stuff. He couldn't even touch Coach Sherwood, couldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Because I'm serious, he couldn't. I promise you that. Like you said, Coach Sherwood, he didn't never scream. He was so soft-spoken. He was real nice, very nice. And that's how I got my motivation. He talked real good. That's why I don't know. That's why guess I was pretty mean in the backfield. I don't know. I was pretty mean. When he talked so soft to me, that seemed when I got meaner. When somebody come and try to hit me, with the football and stuff, I was going to put something on somebody because he was so soft spoken. I said, okay, I'm going to put something on his ass. No, just joking. Just joking. When these linebackers come towards me, I say, okay, I'm going to bust him up. Nah, but he was great. Coach Sherwood, he was real soft spoken and stuff. Like I said, didn't never cuss words, no nothing. Real nice, very nice. They gave me all the motivation in the world. Yeah.
When I was at the 10-year reunion, high school reunion, Coach Sherwood came in. He said, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure, Coach." He took me over and sat me down at the table. He goes, "I need to apologize to you." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "You got a good scholarship to junior college, but you should have gone D1." He said, "It's my fault. I didn't push you." He said, "I thought coaches would find you, but they didn't." So he said, "I want to apologize for that." And, that made me feel better because, I wondered what happened. And it made me feel a little comfort that, I knew Kelly told me, you should be here at JM with me and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't happen. The second thing he did is when we were at the Hall of Fame induction, there were a lot of highfalutin coaches around, and he was talking to the Brownwood coach, which is famous for things he did. And he said, "Jay, come here." I went and sat there beside me, introduced me to him. He goes, "This is the best tight end I ever coached." And, that meant so much to me. It still means so much to me today. I mean, that was the nicest thing I'd ever heard. And, I want to thank Scott for letting me share his dad.
Right.
Yo.
It's another thing I want to tell you guys. Stuff. We was at my mom's funeral, and Coach Sherwood, he showed up. Oh, when I seen him, I just broke down and really went to crying then, and put my wrapped around. He hugged me up. He said, everybody's gonna have that day. But he said, yeah, they're gonna have that day. Oh, I broke down and cried. Really. When I seen Coach Sherwood at my mom's funeral, oh my goodness, that made the world to me. I didn't think he'd never screw up, but he showed up, and we got through doing all the crying and stuff. And then P-Pat, he showed up. He said, "Yeah, man." He said, "I think I'm gonna break your record or something." I said, "Man, that's what records are made to be, so you can break them." And he went over and asked Coach Sherwood, Coach Sherwood, who was the best running back you had? He looked over, he said, "Now, Royce, he was the best running back I, coach right there." I said, "What did I tell you, P-Pat?" I said, "What did I tell you, buddy?" I said, "Now you all right now, buddy?" Oh, he dropped his head down like this right here. I said, "Okay." Yeah, but Coach Sherwood told me he's I was one of the best running backs in playing. That's what he told me. Yeah, and that made me feel so good. Yeah, made me feel real good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Yes, it was.
Louis, did any other coach influence you or have an impact on you or touch your heart, help you in any way?
Well, I think, Coach Ed Moore, of course, on the baseball side of it, participating in baseball, he carried the message, the same thing that Coach Sherwood, the Coach Sherwood message into the baseball program. And so he was very influential also to speaking the same language, and of course keeping that together throughout the whole season for me anyway. Because I kept and playing in the baseball program, but Coach Sherwood was so special. I mean, everybody on his staff, the respect thing, and not only the players but the coaches. So there was some coaches that of course would get loud and stuff like that, but overall the field was a field of learning and playing as a player and coaches together. And I just never forget that experience. It's a pretty unbelievable.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott?
Yeah, let me tell you guys this right here now. Well, I'm going to take you guys. I don't think the funky onion is down there no more, but I'm going to do the funky chicken for you guys, okay? No, I'm just joking. I'm Bernie walking. Okay, excuse me.
That's okay. You're good. You're good. Scott, what about you, bro?
Well, I agree with all you guys that staff at Plainview was just so unique and had the right mix of coaching types and people and the way they approached, like Kelly said, a group of 17, 18-year-old kids. The ones that probably had the most impact on me were the ones that came from Spearman. And because I'd had them there since essentially about 7th grade. But Coach Tomlin, Coach Williams, Coach Moore for sure, Coach Beasley, the Coach Moore, he was a outstanding basketball player at Kentucky, then pitched in the pros for the Dodgers, and he coached our 8th grade basketball team, then moved up to varsity experiment and coached us there. And it's just, all you guys know the Coach Moore-isms, and he had them big old hands doing that. Same thing Kelly'd say, somebody get on to him for spitting in their gym, and he'd say, I spit in Yankee Stadium, I can spit anywhere I want, and he was just always, he was pretty special. And he and Dad, I think, meshed really well. And see, they'd coached against each other for a good bit of time, and then Dad talked him into coming to Spearman. And we didn't have baseball in Spearman, but a couple summers we played like an American Legion ball. He coached us in that, and his just knowledge of everything and the way he could get it to you. And then Coach Tomlin, he and Coach Williams both, they were just such good, besides outstanding coaches, they were outstanding men and great, spiritual examples that they just set out there.
Right.
And they didn't lose their cool. And I get to see I live in Panhandle, and Coach Williams lives here. And, I see him, and he's having a rough time. But, he was one of them that he and Coach Tomlin both really special to me.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Wonderful.
My Coach Moore, when I was a sophomore or a junior, Coach Hill asked him to watch me pitch. And I told this story with the coaches, Coach Tomlin Selke. I would throw a flat curve. I mean, it would just hang. And he's the one that told me, no, snap it down. And after that, man, my ball just fell off the table. I mean, he taught me a little something, he was a damn good coach. So I'm going to go into this segment about trivia. Who won the state championship in '78?
Eastern Stratford, I think.
That is correct.
Craig James.
Craig James.
I was just gonna say, Craig James was on that team. You're right.
Yeah, we would have kicked their ass.
Craig James, I think he was a big old running back. Man, that's a big old running back. I played it in the All-Star game against that guy. Him and Eric Dickerson and all them guys. Yeah. I think they had me. They didn't want to run the ball, but they had me trying to return the punts or something. But I did pretty good on the punt returns. Yeah. I did pretty good. I was so pissed off because they didn't let me run the ball. I don't know if it's because Oklahoma didn't want me to run the ball. I was pissed off. But when they did put me the ball, I tried to run it all the way back. I think about 5 or 6 guys hit me, and I was going. They finally got me down. It was pretty crazy because I was pissed off. Yeah, but it was all good. Yeah, Eric Dixon down there in the All-Star game. Eric, he drove up in a brand new Trans Am.
Oh yeah,
and
brand
new Trans Am. Yeah, yeah. But overall, and stuff, when huh?
What did you
What
get?
happened?
Where was your Trans Am?
What did I get?
Where's your Trans Am?
He didn't have it. He didn't have a Trans Am. He had a Cadillac.
No, I went and got. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I went and got. I got a '69 Rivalries, but it was real nice. Plus, I was getting a few dollars.
Yeah.
From working out there in the fields and stuff. No, I'm just joking.
I was there. I remember that day we were all sitting in the cafeteria. We were all sitting in the cafeteria eating lunch, and Ron Meyer, and then the coach from Texas Tech, and all these guys came in 4 different corners of the cafeteria, and they all saw each other, and everybody left except for Ron Meyer, and he came and sat down and was handing $100 bills under the table to Royce, and we're all going, "What the hell? That's too much money."
You still remember that guy? I was eating real good too that day too. After he gave me that money, I was eating real good. We didn't have to worry about. We just go and get some of that Kentucky Fried Chicken and eat real good. I didn't have to worry about. I didn't have to go out there and worry about wringing them chicken necks and plucking them. So I was eating real good that day.
I mean, you can't put into words what it was like to be on that 78 team. It was just so special. I mean, my gosh, it's sad that everybody doesn't get to experience what we did.
Well, that said, guys, we're running almost about an hour and 45 minutes. You guys let's go and ask your parting words about that team. Jay, you were saying, can we continue that and say a little bit more about the year 78 team?
Well, I am one of the most fortunate people in the world. I got to play with some guys that nobody gets to play with people like this, and we're all great friends, and we've all stayed in touch, kind of. But it's nice to be able to sit down and reminisce about this kind of stuff, because it was, you just don't, it was, you see movies and the way they do the movies, and you're like, God, that's what we felt. I mean, Friday Night Lights and all that stuff. I mean, that's what we were, those people. I mean, we were those people. Now, we didn't have all the girls running around us like that. I guess the girls didn't like the football players. But there was nobody putting shaving cream on body, like that movie. But it was still a lot of fun. And again, I just can't thank all y'all enough for allowing me to be a part of this.
Well, before you, Jay, I want to thank you for helping me get in touch with these guys. So I couldn't have done it without you. And one thing I told Lisa when we first started doing this, I was like, after 1 or 2, I said, I got to get the 78 guys on here, a few of them. And that was my goal. That was my goal. And thank you, Jay, for helping me to accomplish that. So, bro, thank you. Kel,
I mean, I wanted to talk to him.
There you go. What about you, Kelly? What's your parting words, sir?
I kind of just I reminisce one game against Hereford. I'll let it go. We were only winning like 7-8 at halftime, and we weren't moving the ball. Defense was playing good, and we came out in the third quarter. I got thrown out of the game, and I hit a guy. I didn't know what I did to him till the next day, but referee threw a flag, hit me in the helmet. I guess he had a golf ball or something, and he picked me up and he took me over to Coach Sherwood and told me I'd been ejected from the game. And had about 3 days of hell because I didn't know exactly what was going on. And Coach Sherwood told me that I was only second player ever to get thrown out of a game in his career. I had something smart ass I was going to joke with him, but I kind of just left it under my hat. And but after the game, I went and talked to the referee that threw me out of the game and told him that you know, I let down myself, my team, coaches, the community, and told them that we weren't coached to do that. And if I get to play again, he won't ever have that opportunity again. We were riding home on the bus, and Coach Sherwood came back and told me I was the second player in his career to get thrown out of a game. And said, "Why don't you come up to the field house tomorrow before we watch the game and get everybody there? We'll see what happened." So I went in there early, and Coach Billingsley was in there, and he goes, "You better get your story right. We've seen the film." And I said, "Oh shit," because I really had no idea what to expect. And so I went in there, and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, come Monday, Plainview, Texas is going to have the best second team left tackle in the state." So, and he kind of left it. He left it at that. And then over the weekend, somebody had called him and told him that I went and talked to the referee after the game, and so I came in Monday, and he asked me about it, and I said, "Yeah," and I told him what I said, and I guess the referee had called and told him I did that too, and so that's when I asked him the question that I was going to ask him before. So I said, "Do you remember the guy's name that got thrown out? The one that got thrown out?" He goes, "I never will forget him." And I said, "Well, I hope I'm now on that list." So that's kind of how I left. So anyway, no, it's always good to see these guys. Had a lot of fun with these guys, and a lot of memories, and you know, I'd do it all over again. I think if we had 5 years with that, where they were running the same offense like Permian, Midland Lee, and all these schools, they're running the same offense and defense in junior high, and you know, the freshman team and whatnot, we'd have had a hell of a team. And there's one thing too, that there's a bunch of guys that weren't on that team that had they have played, we had a lot of athletes walking around that didn't play sports and that played sports their whole career. If we had had half these guys on the team, there's no telling where we'd have went with it. But anyway, I appreciate y'all's time and sharing some stories and putting this together. And I'd like to do it again, and maybe get Goober on. And Goober remembers every play of every game. So if you ever have a question about, he remembers everything that was ever done. So.
What about his girlfriend Mindy or whatever her name was? I used to turn him up with that Mindy stuff. Oh, who the hell is Mindy?
Maybe next time Royce will do the worm for us too. That's his famous dance.
Well, anytime you guys want to do a part 2, part 3, part
Absolutely.
4, just let us know, guys. Lewis, what
I'm
about
ready.
you?
I'm ready. I'm ready anytime. The next time I show y'all a picture at El Paso, I got a picture when I hit that broken ankle going in there for a touchdown.
Oh, now it's a broken ankle.
Yeah, when I had the broken ankle, well, whatever. But whatever, I got a picture of it going in for a touchdown with a broken ankle, climbing over somebody's head. But the heck, them guys looked like they were grown men. We was over there playing in El Paso. I said, man, we playing these guys with all these damn beards. Dang it, these guys are grown men. But yeah, we did something for them. Yeah, we did.
We still with their butts.
Yeah, we did something for them. Yeah, maybe they go and trim their beards or something like that. You grown men and these little bitty kids like us. But no, I loved all these guys and stuff. Like I say, I hadn't talked to Scott. Forever. I talked to Jay, and I hadn't talked to Kelly till one time we had a class reunion. I didn't know nothing about it, and I went down to this other reunion, and they said, "Well, they got a reunion back there or something like that." So I went back. I think it was Goop. Somebody came and got me and stuff. Oh, and then the party was on. Yeah, the party was on. I was gonna do this funky chicken or funky worm or something. I can't remember. Yeah, but
funny.
these guys are great. These guys are great.
Good.
I mean, you can't get no better teammates than these guys, you know. And like I say, Coach Sherwood, if it wasn't for Coach Sherwood, I promise you guys like that, to have the player that he made me, oh my goodness. And, you know, every time I go to Plainview and stuff, aren't you Royce Coleman and stuff? Yeah. Oh, I remember you used to do this and do that right there, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I always, you know, everybody always noticed me and stuff. But if it wasn't for Coach Sherwood, they wouldn't know me. I'd be like a guy, a hole in the wall guy, just walking around. But Coach Sherwood was the greatest coach I was around. I promise you guys
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely. We totally agree with you. Good
Yeah.
story. What about you, Liz?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I certainly appreciate getting to see y'all guys again and get to visit on some of these old times. It's great. Look forward to maybe getting some more of the defensive guys on here to be able to talk a little bit about some of the other side of the football. One of the things, and look forward to hearing more. Some of the other classes that and their experiences. One of the things that I also think about is, us as players, we got, considerable amount of playing time, but there was a bunch of guys that are on our team. Remember our fire department?
Fire department.
Our fire department, right? And some of those guys, I've experienced the same stuff day in and day out. And it'd be, I think, a real treat to hear their stories of how they were impacted.
Yeah.
And, I look forward to, as these continue on, listening to some of those experiences.
Well, good. Well, you know what, Lewis? You need to get the Spanish Armada on here. That's what Coach Tomlin said. Y'all had a nickname, Bobby and Jaime and Arnold. I don't know the other Hispanics. He mentioned some other names, but when you chase them down, and we'll do the Spanish Armada show.
Oh my goodness, to be able to get some of these guys, especially like Gilbert Vera. I don't know if he.
What
Larry
about Richard
Vera's,
Pena?
Richard Pena. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Richard Pena's still in Plainview. I ran into him not too long ago. Tough guy, right? Yeah.
He's in Plainview?
Yeah, he's still in Plainview.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got a job now, Lewis.
Bobby Reyes. So yeah, okay.
Okay, Bobby Reyes. Yeah, I remember Bobby Reyes. That guy was real fast on feet.
Yep.
And Jaime Rivera was a tough little son of a bitch.
Yeah,
he was
away last year.
He whooped some ass back in school.
Yeah, he used to really do a whole lot of fighting. Yeah, he used to fight.
All right,
I remember
Scott.
we got into it one time. I remember me and Jaime got into it one time because I was getting a soda and stuff. The quarter didn't go in there, so he gonna take my quarter and try to get the soda. Matter of fact, he did get a soda right there. So I had to try to choke him out right there. And you know who came out there? Who's the physical? I mean, the guy that wrapped the ankles. What was his name? Remember the little bitty guy? I forgot the little bitty guy. But he used to wrap my ankles and stuff like that. I forgot.
There was a Coach Huddleston. There was a Coach Huddleston, but I don't know if he was there in '78.
No, he used to do our ankles and physical therapy. Whoever was, a little bitty guy. Buchanan or something like that. little bitty guy. So we got there. I was trying to choke him
Y'all
up
are
right
killing
there.
me.
So,
I need another glass of wine.
but anyway, he came out there and he come out there and try to give us a paddling and stuff. I wouldn't let him do it and stuff. I was too big for him to try to do something, so I just let him give me a paddle and stuff. I was gonna choke him. I was just gonna choke that little bitty guy. But I let him paddle me and stuff so he could feel pretty big at the time. You know, because I wasn't gonna take no whooping. My mom and dad didn't give me no whooping, so I let him do that so he felt pretty big. But I was gonna choke that little guy. No, I was just joking.
I wish I'd have seen that.
All right, Scott, you're the last one. What's your parting word, sir?
Well, I think the question you asked was, what about that 78 team? Well, first off, I want to thank you and Lisa Flo for doing this.
Yes, I'm
I
sorry.
mean, it's a great deal. I appreciate you taking the time to do it because I know it's not easy organizing this thing. Raper said the worm. I think it was more LaFreak.
Yep, it was a freak. Yeah, it was a freak too. Yep, it was a freak. Yep.
But what you said, everybody said about 78 team, it was a special connection. And it's the kind of thing, Brittany and I have 3 boys, and when they were going through high school, I always wished, and they were fortunate, they got a little bit of taste of it, but you wished for them what we had in 78. And because it doesn't get any better than that. And I had great friends and great time and great teams at Spearman, but there was just something about that where we kind of started together in 78 from not much expected of us, but like Kelly said, pretty quick in spring ball, we knew this thing could work and we could deal some misery, and it's just special. And the rest of it is about the community too that everybody's talked about and Lisa talked about was I don't know. Dad always said there's 2 things that bring a town in West Texas together. He said a tornado and a good football team. And Plainview had the tornado the years before, and then I think we brought them a good football team.
Yes, y'all did.
Yeah.
I mean, 78 team was the as this show is called, the beginning. Anger Red Nuff said, and you guys were a magical team, and I know a lot of teams after you guys looked up to y'all. So, but that definitely would love to have you guys on again with other players. And yes, Lisa.
I just want to thank y'all for coming on this program. Sharing your stories just, takes us all back. We were in 8th grade, but of course we were football fans at the time. But, listening to your stories, and Michael said the appropriate word, it was a magical time for y'all. And I think Jay mentioned, it's like some of the movies that we've seen of the, small town team that triumphs and overcomes all these obstacles. And y'all are so fortunate. You're fortunate that you had the coach that you had, the community, the coaches, the friendships, and that you just kind of clicked. Everything just magically clicked into place. And how fortunate you are today as grown men to have these special memories. Not a lot of people can say that. And y'all are very, very fortunate. And we're very fortunate that you came on and shared them with us. So we thank you so much.
Thank you. And guys, in 4 years, 4 years is going to be 50 years for y'all. Wow. I need to read something. I need to read something on Facebook. You guys going to Plainview doing a reunion, a 50-year reunion of this team. I mean, it's got to happen.
Exactly.
We will. Yep. We did the 40.
I'll be there.
Oh. Well, gentlemen, thank you again. Thank you. And
thank you.
We'll reach out to us. We'll continue to do a part 2, and just we'd love to listen to the stories. But good night, everyone, and have
all right. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
God bless
you.
you
Thank you
guys.
so much.
God bless you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yes.
And hey
God bless
guys,
you.
we're gonna have to get together. You know, it don't have to be a reunion or nothing like that. I get to Plainview one of these days because it's real hot up out here in Arizona. Real hot. Yep. Be warm up out here.
All right,
Okay then.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Louis, the Spanish Armada, get a hold of me.
Okay. All right.
and say hi to Rosie for me.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Good night, guys.
See y'all.
Okay. Good night.
Hey,
Bye.
Scott, nice seeing you guys. You, Jay, everybody. Hey, you guys. Thank you,
Yeah.
you guys. And God
Hey.
bless you guys.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
There we go. I'm having computer problems.
Can
Yeah,
you,
me too.
Lisa, can you remove him from the room?
Yes. Yeah, I can now. I was.
Can you?
I could-
Okay.
All right.
You have a good
Royce.
night, Lisa.
Tell your brother to get on the show. I've been
Okay,
trying to
I
get him on.
definitely will.
Tim
And,
Coleman.
and this is what your name? I kept on forgetting your name.
Lisa Nolan and Michael Flores.
Michael Florence. Okay, that's what he was asking me.
All right.
All right.
Good night, sir.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Wow. Another great show.
2
These guys,
hours.
I know. We'll make it short, but guys, thank you. And I want to challenge. We want 4 to 5 players from class from 80, 81, 82, 84, 85. I mean, what
85.
I don't know what's the last year Coach Sherwood coached, but guys, we need to, want 4 to 6 players to come on and share your experiences with Coach Sherwood and the other coaching staff. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to start doing some cheerleader interviews too. So
yes, absolutely.
let's get you for those years as well. Yeah, the varsity cheerleaders for those years as well.
Yeah, I would love to
So-
hear. I would love to get the perspective of the 78 cheerleaders.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
And some members of the 78 band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Lisa. Well, good night. Peace and
Okay.
love.
Good night.
Peace and love.
Good night, brother.